What's up, everybody? My name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today is Monday, September 26th, and guys, today we're going to be talking about an NFT collection that was just released within the past 24 hours, and that collection is called Critters Cult. Now, Critters Cult is an NFT collection built around this nostalgic 80s, 90s aesthetics. It's also inspired by many different films that we kind of grew up to know. But in this video, we're going to describe to you what's been going on behind the scenes. There's been a lot of buying action, but we're going to find out how much people have been buying these NFTs for. Also, who's been buying these NFTs. We're going to be looking into the charts. Also, we're going to address some FUD and maybe look into some other collections that maybe have built some more awareness around Critters Cult. So be sure to stick around to the end because you're going to learn, be educated, and be informed if this is the right investment for you. So as always, be sure to like up the button, subscribe to the channel, don't forget to join our Patreon page, and most importantly, please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I'll never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or emails. Please be careful and invest safely. So guys, let's go and talk about it. Critters Cult right now is trading around 19.5 Solana. Now yesterday, we've seen price action fluctuate between say 9 Solana to 14. And the thing is, the prices of that time was because this collection wasn't revealed yet. It was just revealed this morning. So basically, people were seeing this design right here on all the NFTs that were listed on the floor. So people weren't sure which ones they were holding. So people decided to either put it at a really low cost or just, simply sell and take their profit, right? So obviously you can see here that's around 910 of these NFTs listed on the floor. We don't know the amount of unique owners or their total supply on this page, but I will tell you what the total supply is on their website. That will help you understand where this could go. Now there's so many different traits, so many different cats that you can look out for. But again, these are just critters. There's not just cats, there's also owls, there's also all sorts of creatures that we can look into in this collection. Now, is this the moonbirds of Solana? That's what a lot of people say. But I want to share with you something. Over here on the left side, you can see this one-on-one. These are the legendaries. So if you want to look at these legendaries, these are the ones right here that absolutely, I'm just showing you a few. There's the tail, the tape, the silk, and there's so many more. But as you can see here, these legendaries are selling for whopping many Solanas. So obviously these are in the multi-thousands in terms of these NFTs. But if you want to get some exposure, you can just have one of these NFTs in your portfolio for around 19.8. Now, if we go to the next page, this is the actual website. This is the Critter Cult website. Now, what's really interesting is their artwork and their storyline. Now, you can go ahead and read the prologue here. I won't read it to you, but what I find really interesting is that this collection is heavily influenced by the 80-90 aesthetics, conspiracy theories, LucasArts, adventure games, Stephen King, David Lynch, and Steven Spielberg works. Now, what I find this really interesting is that it's built around that nostalgia, that old 80s, 90s feel, right? That's kind of my era. That's kind of the films that I love to enjoy when growing up. But what's great is that it kind of follows that same theme. And I love a lore that follows a really great narrative that we can all follow. And as you can see here, there's so many different creatures that you could be a part of, if it's cat, an owl, or any of these other ones, right? And again, we want to know the total circulating supply of this collection. It is around 4,444. This is really important for you to know because you may think, is this a 10,000 collection, 8,000? No, it's 4,444. So I do think that with 900 NFTs on the market floor as we speak, we could absolutely experience a supply shock. I could definitely see some people buying huge bags of this. And I'm talking about not simple people like you and I who are just, normal day investors. I'm talking about whales. I'm talking about influencers. I'm talking about people who literally have tons of Solana to buy up bulks of these. Now, it's good to know that there was a mint price of around 3 Solana for whitelist people, right? But again, we're going to talk about the end of the video and why that kind of stirred up a lot of controversy. But before we talk about that, let's talk about the sales. Now, remember when we talked about legendaries? Well, this one sold for 140 Solana, and this is the film rarity. And as you can see here, people are paying a lot of money for these rarities. What I like to see is how much are people paying for these? Because if you're seeing buying action way above floor price, that means there's a little bit of hope there that this collection could go further past that, right? Or maybe close to 100 Solana, because they're investing 140 Solana because they think it's going to go way higher than that. Look at this guy. This guy grabbed a rank 60 for 30 Solana. And it's absolutely an amazing trait with the face mask and the feather up top. So obviously people are, again, paying high above the floor price. And also we have this, which is he paid 199 Solana. This is one of two apparently in terms of rarity. So is this worthy of a legendary? I think absolutely. But again, you have to look out there. Is this worth for you buying in? But I'm here to show you how much people are paying for these things. And then we also have this great statistics with this person saying there's only 9 mummies on the floor. Now I don't know how much those are on the floor for. People are observing that this pixel art is not going anywhere. In fact, it could be, again, one of the top dogs in Solana in terms of pixel art. It's getting a lot of buying volume. Now, this is a great thing shared by hamster.soul, which is basically giving a little bit of a storyline between each of these characters from the critter Hugh, Jaws, Cure, and Frap. Now, these are the different names that we have for our creatures, for our little critters, right? And again, these are all the legendary critters. In case you're wondering, you can go, like I said, back on Magic Eden, you can go in the one-on-one section and choose which one-on-one that you want. But again, limited rarities, and I could definitely see that these artworks are going to be completely popular in terms of PFPs, but also I think that's reaching a lot of social media awareness as well. So much so that Ghost93, who is an influencer that talks about a lot of different collections, he says that he did some research and he's bullish on Critters Cult. And thankfully he got in last night when it was around, say, 14, even below that Solana. Now, if you're curious to know where these influencers had bought in these collections, well, here's a great example. So we have Spoonkiss, who bought it around 19 Solana. 0x Kirk, 25 Solana. We have Easy Eats, who bought around 15.5 Solana. Ghost93, 14.8, so forth, so on. Even Justin Ape, who I'm a huge fan of in terms of influencers, who definitely does a lot of great alpha calls, he bought one for 12.5 Solana. So obviously, these guys bought it yesterday at these big dips, but you know, that could have been a huge risk if this collection were to go south. But again, it ended up doing really well. Now, this is the actual website. Now, what's interesting is that Critters Cult didn't used to be 10,000. He actually used to have less followers yesterday, but now has reached 10,000 followers. But what's also great is that if you go onto their Twitter page, they actually have films that you can actually watch. Now, these films are pretty nostalgic within themselves, and what I find really interesting is that, again, it's going back to the nostalgic feel of film. Now, say for instance, they go to like this one. This is an actual film of pixelated art that this person's made. And we will talk about the artist in a little bit, but just look at this. Just look at how there is music being played in the background and there's being a story being told. But who knows, maybe our PFPs, our NFTs could be infiltrated in these stories and play a part in the narrative. Wouldn't that be really awesome? But maybe that's the mission of this artist. Who's the artist? It's this person right here, RGB, who is the one-on-one artist. He also has some art on Exchange Art if you haven't been there, but feel free to subscribe to this guy if you haven't on his Twitter. Now, if we go to his Exchange Art, this is his actual Exchange Art portfolio that you can actually buy any artwork, but unfortunately all the artwork is actually sold. There's nothing for sale right now. So if we go over here to the sci-fi series, you see that a lot of his artwork is inspired by nostalgic films such as District 9, we have Aliens, we also have Blade Runner, we have Space Odyssey, and so many different more. We have also Star Wars. I mean, it keeps going, right? You can tell that he has some type of connection to that era of filmmaking, the era of movies, and even Mad Max right here. So obviously, this is just the beginning of a series that we're getting to learn a lot more. But also on Hello Moon, we saw that they announced that Critters Cult was experiencing a 100% increase in terms of the floor price. As you can see here, you know, it was starting around, say, 5 Solana. And as you can see, we've already reached many more folds after that, up to 20 Solana at the time of this recording. But based on this is around 13 Solana. Now, if we go to Hello Moon, guess where the smart money inflow and the top social buying inflow is going in? It's right here. It's actually at the very top. Even the top movers are right here. And we're not at the moment seeing smart money outflow, which means that people are selling their NFTs and taking their profit. We're not seeing that just yet, but people are just aping in right now as we speak. So that's really cool. Now, if we go to the charts of Soul Sniper, this is Critter Cults in terms of their floor price, in terms of their listing count, and their RSI, aka Relative Strength Index. So if we look at Critters Cult, we can see that it's actually seen an increasing price action up to the upside. So we're seeing an ascending trend. But obviously, we're seeing a little bit of a downtrend in terms of price where it's consolidating, which is completely normal. We actually do want to see a retracement back to the downside because if we get too many long or big green candles, that means we're going to experience a massive sell-off, which completely could plummet the whole collection. But we reached as high as around 23 Solana, and now we're around 18, 19 Solana. Could it go further up? I think it absolutely could, because right now we're seeing that the listing count is up, but we need to break down this resistance level of around 647, because this morning we were at around 600 in terms of listing count, but it has increased to around 900 NFTs on the floor. So we do need that to drop in order to see price action go up. But again, I think that influencers and major whales are going to look at the price action because maybe they're sitting on the sidelines waiting to ape in. 20 Solana, 19 Solana is not a lot to them. It's actually just dirt money to them. It's change. And so once they see the volatility around here, they're going to start aping in, buying a huge bulk, and then that's when you start to see price to the upside. Or maybe these unique wallets, maybe there was already a whale that bought into this collection and maybe they're just dumping as we speak, and then we're seeing newcomers scoop up their NFTs. Now, if we look at the relative strength index, we're actually below the relative strength index in terms of my resistance level right here. What we want to do is break above 70. We want to break above that 70 resistance level in order to see more upside in terms of price, but we're really not seeing a lot of strong buying pressure. We're seeing sideways buying pressure. That means that there's not a lot of whales buying in. We're just seeing normal retail investors like ourselves buying each one of these NFTs. But if that consistently goes, then you will see someone buy in bulk. And if we reach around 600 listings on the floor, that means in terms of NFTs, then we could see this completely go up to the moon from here on out. Now, there is a lot of criticism that happened within the minting stage of Critters Cult, and this is something I need to share with you guys. Now, this was shared by DJ News yesterday, and it said Critters Cult mint error did not honor whitelist token holders. Now, if you guys don't already know, there were whitelist tokens airdropped to holders of NFTs that were called Soul Sunset and probably a few other NFTs, but again, don't take my word for that, but I do know that was for Soul Sunset. But a lot of those people were given whitelist tokens so that they could use those tokens to pretty much mint one of these critter cults, but unfortunately that didn't turn out to be. Now if we go to the next slide, we can see that Critters Cult mint has been suspended until further notice, and the project says mint will not be reset as degens with whitelist tokens reportedly weren't able to use them. And as you can see here, just based from this post, DJ News shared this. Degens were reportedly able to mint dozens of these critical NFTs. At least some whitelist token holders are reported to have not been able to mint. Now, this is reported by this source, which is this conversation by Frisk. Now, Frisk said, yo, what just happened to Critters Cult? And Frisk is a person who is on the team of Liberty Square, which is another NFT collection that's actually recently mooned from 3 Solana all the way up to around 13 and above Solana, even probably 19 for all I know. And Jay Pegler was actually responding saying that this is what he noticed around those wallets that were minting. Now, someone in this wallet was able to mint 91 of these NFTs, if you heard me right. Again, this was yesterday. Another one minted around 60. Now, that's crazy above average considering that there was a little bit of an error between whitelist token holders, right? But this person could be taking their profit as we speak even right now, but just 91, not 200, not 300, 91. So maybe they're taking their profit slowly, or maybe they did list all their NFTs. But again, there is still buying pressure within this NFT collection. Don't let that scare you. Now, Soul Sunsets is another NFT collection that I mentioned before, which was holders who were airdropped these whitelist tokens. Now, this right now is around 110 listed on the floor. I'm not really interested personally in this collection, but if you wanted to understand what this NFT collection was that were given whitelist tokens in terms of their holders, this is the collection right now. And if you look at their pretty much charting, you can see that they have actually gone up in price, maybe due to the fact that Critters Cult is actually making waves across the charts in terms of price action. Now, what did I decide to do? Well, this is what I decided to do. I decided to research and also acquire one of these myself because I actually love the nostalgia, I love the artwork, I love the community, but I also love the lore, I love the storyline. So I bought one of these and I decided that this was going to be my forever Critters Cult, and if it reaches to the moon, if it reaches to higher price levels, yeah, I'll take some profit, absolutely. But again, I just wanted to have some exposure to this. I didn't want to get 3, 5, I just wanted to have one for myself. Will that change later on down the future? Only if this dips below 19 Solana. Now, what's my closing statement? As you can see here, just going back to the page, we've seen that, oh my gosh, we've seen people already sell these and also delist their NFTs as we're recording as we speak. So obviously, this collection still is having a lot of buying action. And there's already a trading volume of around 46,000 Solana, which is right here in the past 24 hours. So that shows me that this is only just getting started. And could this be the moonbirds of Solana? I think it's even separate from that. I think it's going to do a lot better. Now, what we want to see is that this listing count needs to get below 1,000 to below 800 to hopefully back to 600 again. But I don't think this is going anywhere. I think people see that these price levels are really great entry points. but the supply is only 4,444, which is very low. So that already in itself can experience a supply shock. So is this video informational and educational for you to make the right investment or the wrong investment? We don't actually know. But I hope that this has helped you understand how you should position yourself, because we want to understand this ecosystem. We want to understand the collection, the artists, and the community, and also how much people are buying these things and what influencers are buying it. And again, we shouldn't buy things because of influencers, because we've actually seen some things, other collections dump even with influencers buying in, and they don't even admit that they've made a mistake. That's not what they do. They like to celebrate their accomplishments. But again, I have money to spend to risk this asset if it goes to zero, right? And who knows what will happen from here on out. But again, it's only been 24 hours. So let this be a deciding factor for you. I hope this video has been informative for you. So guys, be sure to invest safely, do your own research, and never invest more than what you're willing to lose. And as always, guys, be sure to like that button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join our Patreon page, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching Cryptolution. Join our Patreon page for all our private alpha calls, investment strategies, and one-on-one consultations in the link below. Limited spaces are available, so be sure to reserve your spot today. Invest safely, and we'll see you on the next episode of Cryptolution.